Shabbat Shalom, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Torah in 10, your weekly dose of Torah and context in 10 minutes or less. This week's portion is going to be Parasha Jethro, or Yitro. It's going to be covering Exodus 18:1 to 20:23. Let's get started. Portion recap. Yitro is about transitioning into a higher level of order. I'm not going to spend too much time on just the portion recap because this is an extremely important portion that needs a lot more time than just 10 minutes to really flesh out, considering we do receive the Ten Commandments within this portion, which to me is almost the crescendo of the message within Yithro itself, which is we've left Egypt, we're in the wilderness, we've been reclaimed by Hashem, we are now his people, we are now a nation, and now we are going through the final steps before we receive the law, the good news, before the great suzerain completes his work and now has freed the people and provided them with a new way of living and a new law and new instructions on how to better serve their great king. And all this starts, ironically, with the order of a family being reunited. So you can see this same message progressing throughout the portion, beginning with Yithro or Jethro, returning with Moses's wife and his children. So they all come back together. They all reconciliate as one family again. They've all been united. Now there's order in the house. Since now Moses has his wife and his children, they've explained what's happened to them and to Jethro, and then he then goes and makes offerings and sacrifices to Hashem. And Aaron and the elders of Israel have a meal with Jethro, which is also extremely important to keep in mind because this itself is an example of a covenant. And you'll notice that only after they have this meal covenant and they have the offerings to Hashem, then and only then do we see the next level of order being established from the chaos, which is Jethro giving the advice to Moses about how to better judicially deal with the people because it's just too many. This we can see then resolves the issue and provides the order that Moses requires to then become the leader that he needs to be to then ascend to the next step, which is at the end of this portion when the people themselves, about 3 months later, need to consecrate themselves because Hashem is going to meet them on the mountain. And we can see a lot of detail being put forward about the boundary of the mountains and who is to come near, who is not to come near, the consequences of doing so. And all of this is, again, building towards the final and the pinnacle of order, and that is the Torah. That is the Ten Commandments. That is the law. So bringing forth of the law and bringing forth the connection between Hashem and between Israel in perfect order, in oneness, as the people become echad, as they come to all meet Hashem at once as one people together, we have this perfect order. Also, fun fact, it also takes 3 days to complete that. 3 months later, there's a lot of threes in this portion too. Within the events of Yithro, we have the concept of bringing order from chaos. And like I said previously, you can see it from the very beginning with the gathering of a family. Yithro, or Jethro or Yithro, gives honor to Hashem after hearing about Egypt's fall. After this, he presents a solution to Moses about the people and how to keep judicial order in the community. And then finally, before Israel can come to the foot of the mountain, they must consecrate themselves as one nation, as one people, and purge all chaos and immorality from the camp. Did you know? Chapter 18, verse 21 outlines a meal covenant in the honor of Hashem with the elders of Israel and Aaron, also Jethro himself. The imagery of God coming in the clouds is a motif which will echo later in the Torah and the prophets. Finally, the warning given to Moses by Hashem in chapter 19, verse 21, is an example of not only sacred spaces, but the consequences of disturbing perfect cosmic order. Question time. What are other examples of order and chaos you can see in the text of this portion? From which nation did Jethro or Yithro come from to see Moses? And what is one example found within the Torah of Hashem coming down as the cloud rider? Happy studying, and Shabbat Shalom.